All right, we're back for Blood Red Skies Vietnam. We are going to do a mission that is pretty similar to what we did at Adepticon. There we had MiG 17s versus F 100s. We've bumped it up a level and we now have two F 105s that are attempting to sneak past the dogfight and get to the target. Brett's going to be my North Vietnamese MiG counterpart. He's got a 5 and a 2 in high cover.
Colonel He Hung Go.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm keeping your mouth. Keep your mouth to yourself, Mister. And then he has a 4, a 3, and a 3 for his MiGs. You can see up there on the card, the MiGs are a 2, 2, 14. They've got rapid roll and heavy hitter, and of course they're Jet 2. Now, our F-100Ds out there, they're also 2-2 and 14s. They're also a Jet 2, and that's going to be one of the discussions today with Roger. We've got Roger Gerrish on the headset. Say hello, Roger.
Hello, Roger.
So soft-spoken.
I know. It's a little, still a little jet lagged after 3, 4 days.
Jet lag and other
Yeah,
excuses.
I
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
I know.
He's donut lagged, not jet lagged. Yeah, last
So,
night our diet might not have been the best. It was a convention diet of chips, donuts, tasty cake, and beer. And Sour Patch Kids. Let's not forget the Sour Patch Kids. So,
and I think I'm the only one this morning who isn't suffering from bad stomach because I guess this is the stuff where I was coming across to eat. I love
you
it.
love all this junk
Yeah,
food.
yeah, definitely. And
Uh,
can I just say this is great because this is the first time I get to meet the big three of the LPP podcast in
Big three, don't talk
person.
about my waistline so much. I mean, I know I'm a fat kid. Don't have to insult me on the stream. Okay, so what are we going to do to start? We're going to roll independently, and I guess you don't need to roll for. Those are high cover. And I just went cold. My volume went way down. Okay, didn't go all that far down. All right, so you only need to roll for that element. I need to roll for my two elements.
Beat that.
Well, it's appropriate. I mean, the last game we played with the MiGs, we brought them in disadvantaged basically because they were a low altitude intercept climbing up. And with the jet rules, it doesn't really matter unless you get bounced immediately. In one turn, you're going to climb up from disadvantaged to advantaged. All right. So I have got two neutral elements. All right. A 3 and a 4. That is your deployment zone over there. We didn't bring a tape out, of course, so I'll go get that before Roger runs off. That's their deployment, so that's where they're going to be on the edge there. Basically, if you put your guys on the edge of the map, wherever you want 1 inch in, you can actually go up to 6 inches. So feel free to.
Sure, I'm not cheating you. Kind of wanted to come this way. Mm.
Okay, so
I
we
can
got
put
them.
this anywhere. This can go anywhere.
Yes, so your high cover, not yet. High cover will go after we place all the rest of our stuff. Okay, so the sabers now. Toss me the. Here's a great point of discussion. Standard Blood Red Skies, it's always 18 inches away. We
Mm.
know with jets that's going to be stupid because I will be in his chili pretty fast. We've never picked a number for jet in a
No.
scenario as to how far we want to bump them out. So I think it's a discussion. We've thrown a lot of things around for like 21, 24 inches, whatever. Because on average, if you dive, you're going to get 20 inches in there with most of these aircraft. So
Absolutely.
that 9 inch bubble, I mean, you're going to be on top of those dudes pretty quick. So I'm not going to prescribe a specific distance. We're going to give a deployment zone. This is a 4x6 mat that we're on. So it theoretically, if you do the math, as long as I'm within 6 inches here, I'm going to find myself, hopefully, far enough from him that I'm not able to attack him without giving something up. So I will go into my deployment zones. And because I'm trying to cut off the MiGs, I'm going to put one
Do the
group here.
105s have any missile
I was going
capability?
to say we won't use the defensive card. So for
Fair
everyone on the
enough.
stream, one of the big discussions we had over the last couple of days is, do we track missiles? And almost every game that Roger and I have played, we've never gone Winchester on missiles. We've never run out, unless you're a MiG-21 PF with 2 missiles. And even then, a lot of times we never ran out before the Blood Red Skies mechanic of the boom chits caused someone to disengage because they'd lost one or more aircraft or just been beat up. So we're not going to track missiles today. And we asked the question, how do we do the F-105s? Because occasionally they'd carry a single AIM-9 as a defensive. And we decided if we did that, we would do a equipment card that was kind of a one-use kind of equipment card. You put a token on their base, pull it off when they shoot their defensive missile. So,
Yeah.
put a splash token or something on there instead of a boom chit or a laden token. Maybe that means we need more acrylic. We need missile token. Steve's all happy. More acrylic for me to make. All right, well, let me put my other element on the table. And I'll throw these guys 6 inches in and on a cutoff vector. All right. High cover, wherever you want. Total. You can't do it there. Not anywhere but there. No, I'm kidding. Just look on your face. What do you mean I can't do it there? You just said anywhere. Let's bump it back to actually be here just to give us the full size of the map. All right. So that's all we have to do to set up. Is there anything we want to go over on the cards? So traits, you'll notice the F-100 is only a Jet 2 rapid roll. Now, Roger and I have had a lot of discussions about, is it a Jet 2, is it a Jet 3? I don't know. It's kind of a tweener there. I chose to make it a Jet 2, so unlike the F4 that holds that MiG down for advantage, it's not going to. The MiGs are gonna basically have to get away from it because it's a similar jet generation, but it's not going to just be this powerful Jet 3 that climbs up in close range to them. The F-100s have to get away. MiGs have to get away to climb up. It's not just someone with this punitive ability to hold someone down. Okay. The rapid roll, as we've seen, we saw how the rapid roll and heavy hitter worked for the MiGs, worked really well for the MiGs, and the AIM-9 on the F-100s. We had talked about some tweaks, and we talked about some tweaks to tailing and a couple of things there. Yeah. And we talked about changing over the minimum range of missiles because we'd had this hard line at 6 inches, which was also tailing, was right where the seam for missiles and everything else was. Now, we had proposed a couple things. One was jet era tailing goes to 9 inches. Basically acknowledging if the area you can influence somebody is bigger in the jet era. The counterpoint to that was just move the missile minimum range in. So move the missile minimum range into 4 or into 3. 3 always fits nicely with heavy hitter and everything else. But those were some of the rules considerations that we talked about tweaking in an effort to not create this artificial missile tailing that we've put into Wing Commander. I think we all regretted it the more we played it, but it was it was a way to get the rules to match up with what we needed aircraft to do.
I think it's basically configuring the game to be a jet game rather than the hybrid it was previously, which would sort of allow you to which would allow you to mix in the props. So I think we need to change the parameters because this is a jet game.
Exactly. And the only prop we should see in there is an A1 Sky Raider. And while A1s did shoot down MiGs, there needs to be some way that can happen. But I think we shouldn't be afraid to break some of the numbers, ranges. I don't want to say concepts because I think we agree that we want it to look and smell and taste like Blood Red Skies, but we have to acknowledge the advancement of things into the jet age.
We see this as an adaptation.
Yes, that's a very good way to
of the
say it.
standard rules. Don't lose any of the clever things, and but at the same time, don't be scared to make some changes if it better reflects the period we're trying to simulate.
Absolutely.
Or play or game.
So for today, which do we want to do? Do we want to bring the missile minimum range in, or do we want to just kick tailing of all kinds out to 9 inches maybe? Or do we want to keep a distinction between gun and missile aircraft, which is a third option? I didn't really bring it up earlier.
I would go with the minimum range.
Yeah, I like the minimum range of 3 because once again, we tried to pick numbers that made sense in this game. 3, 6, 9 those are things that are tied to outmaneuver and all that other stuff. So I think moving the missile minimum range in 3, so it still is a pretty long range. It's 3 to 18. And we can talk about, do we bring the long side of that back in? But let's stick with 3 to 18 for today. Standard tailing at 6 inches. So if you've got a missile and you're at 6.1, you're not tailing that guy. Does that make sense? All right. Of course, Brett has no missiles, so he doesn't care. He's like, whatever. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started then. I guess I'm the neutral guy that actually does all my moves. That's scary. How did that happen? All right. So, what do I want to do? No one's within 9 inches. We're going to start, with the 4. What's that?
So you better make those come straight in.
They're not high cover. It's a deployment.
Oh, I thought it was deployment had to be straight.
No, deployment does not have to be straight. So, rules clarification. One of the FAQ hopeful things we'll make an FAQ is that high covers have to fly straight onto the board. Deployment, you can still point whichever way you want, but high covers have to fly straight onto the board. Okay, so rapid roll. I love rapid roll. I'm going to make my 45 turn. Going to burn advantage to dive.
A pretty competent dogfighter, F-100, pretty competent dogfighter for today.
Historically,
Historically, not so good.
there's no evidence really of how it would perform because it never really mixed it.
Yeah, there's one dogfight, and there's a conjecture still. Everyone pretty much admits that the F-100 did shoot down several MiGs, but it was never logged. They were logged as probables and never validated, unfortunately.
Gunshots or missile?
I have to go look again because one was a gun, and I'm pretty sure there was an AIM-9 shot as well. I'd have to look again at the exact report, but it's one of the things the Air Force never went back and fixed that.
F-100 is my first jet aircraft model ever made.
Oh, really? I like it. I love the Cold War videos of those things and dirty takeoffs and. All right, my 3s. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to go rapid roll.
In my long career at IBM, one of my colleagues in Denmark flew F-100s for the Danish Air Force, and he said it was a very hot ship, but quite scary as well. They lost a lot of them to new pilot accidents due to various foibles and issues the aircraft would have.
Call that saber dance on the landing.
Yeah, there were many issues and problems sometimes for new pilots on landing. It's an aircraft that sort of never really. I don't know. It probably gained most of its fame in Vietnam in the two-seater SEAD, Wild Weasel configuration.
And fastfac. Don't forget the fastfacs. My gosh. I swear, all these people. Oh, Trevor, come on. The only reason Trevor's on the stream is to see his miniatures, so you better turn on the low ISO cam. Yeah, let me bring that up to the low ISO cam. Let me mark that guy. Those are beautiful. All right. Now you're disadvantaged, guys.
Speed 14, right?
Yes, yep. Speed 14. one of the discussions from this weekend has been, do we go back with some of the stats to what we said, where we kind of stretch the speeds from 12 to 18 to create different performance characteristics, knowing that, yes, I realize 18 is supersonic, but going beyond 14 and 16 gives us an ability for aircraft to have different performance. So I think we'll see like the MiG-21 go to 16. We'll see the F-4 go to 18 just to force their turn circles to be larger. So that 18 is going to make a min move of 9 for the F-4. So that's going to just force it to turn out and away from everybody else.
Yeah, this is all part of the adaptation again to the jets. That what was good for World War II simulation, where the speed ranges were quite close together, that was fine. But we just can't be too precious about the original rules if we want to sort of, let's say, adapt this game to jets.
Well, and I think that's a key point, that stretching Blood Red Skies either down to World War I or up to the Cold War jet age, you're going to have to make some compromises. You're going to have to make some tweaks. And I always tell individual players, don't get too upset as long as you're keeping the core things about the game that are great, like the advantage system. As long as those are there, if you're going to tweak something else, go right ahead. And even if you find yourself doing Malta and you've got CR-42s against Gladiators and the biplane trait doesn't do what you want, well, tweak something else in the rules to simulate those biplanes fighting each other. So, okay. End of first turn. Do you want your high cover to come on?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. That's not supposed to happen. Who allowed those MiGs on? I think things are about to get ugly. All right. Okay, so I'll pull all my markers and rapidly change my plan. So, for those who wanted to watch the stream last night of Missile Threat or of Achtung Panzer, I apologize. The internet connection was sucking. So, we got partway into the Missile Threat. It crashed on us. We're going to go ahead and put that up on YouTube. And we also recorded the Achtung Panzer. Give us a little bit more time on that one, because there was we weren't running it like a stream. We were kind of playing the game and recording it, and we'll go in and edit that up and put some clips out there so you can see the actual gameplay, and you can see Roger Gerrish get tabled by the lead pursuit team. Not that I wanted to put that out there, but yes, tabled, like everything destroyed, right, Roger?
I would say never. If you ever aspire to design a game, develop a game, put it out there, that's great. But don't play it yourself, because you just suffer intense embarrassment when a beginner comes along and totally destroys you.
Beginners? Did you just call my podcast mates beginners? They are. What did you guys? Because you guys played demos, so you were over there. So that's probably what's your third Achtung Panzer game? Second? Okay, yeah. What do you? Yeah, no. Feel free to jump in. We're streaming, but we want people to jump in and watch. So, I know you don't have the headset on, but what? Throw him the headset for a second, because I want people to be able to hear us. What were your thoughts 2 games in, Brett, on Achtung Panzer?
Well, I really liked it. Part of it I liked so much because aesthetically it focused entirely just on the tanks, right?
Right, and you guys played at 15 mil as well.
Yeah, that was even. I would say that was even better just from a looks, an aesthetic standpoint. So for me, a big attraction to bolt action is the tanks.
Right.
And to some degree, I think maybe even a lower barrier entry because, maybe the idea of just building a few tanks and getting started playing versus trying to list build where I got to build a bunch of little infantry. That's not a thing, right?
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
tanks.
Well,
so
and
that's
mass
attractive.
tanks look beautiful. So the ones that he painted up for Steve, freaking amazing.
The gameplay is awesome.
Cool.
And we played 15 mil on a 4x6 table, as well as a 28 mil game on a 3x3. And when we played in 15 mil, we didn't adjust the ranges. We kept it at inches, and it almost felt better.
Right.
It just the way things
The scale
moved and the
worked
look,
and
the
everything,
scale
yeah.
of the movement seemed really spot on at 15. So anyway,
Cool.
really enjoyed it.
Awesome.
The gameplay is awesome.
Throw it back to Roger, and we'll continue with our game. All right. Advantage 5. Mig gets into the fight.
Oh yeah, that's this guy.
Yeah, that guy that I just put on the board. Oh, sorry. Need the tape.
At this moment, with 4 F-100s coming in, you got to wonder how focused those MiG-17 pilots are on those Thunder Chiefs now.
Yeah, so that's one of the interesting things I wanted to see how it worked out in the scenario. You kind of have to.
I'm gonna use a rapid roll.
Okay. Just flip one of his rapid rolls for him.
Right. Which rapid?
Rapid roll, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, you're crazy. Yeah, so one of the questions we had was, you're putting the F-105s on there, are there things we need to write into the scenario? Almost how escort duty was initially. There was very constrained bomber rules because we need, in a sense, these F-105s to be a little prickly. They can be dangerous. They have a cannon, but we don't want them to just dump their bombs, turn, and immediately shoot at MiGs. Okay, you're going to auto outmaneuver him? You're a jerk.
Get in and get out.
Exactly. All right, so now we get to 4s. Same kind of thing. I'm going to have to burn advantage to do that. So I'm going to burn advantage just because I want to kick my tail away from you. And I'm going to auto outmaneuver him.
Hawk widgets on these bad boys.
Yeah, I do. I keep trying to be Blood Red Skies Triangle pure. All right, so you're 4. Yeah, you're advantage 4. Yep.
We're doing another rapid.
Oh, yep.
Just gonna go with nuts.
Just to be inside 9. Just to be a jerk. Jerk. Now you got him all the way down. Should have brought a better wingman. Okay, let's see. My 3 over here. Check the cards for us. Pretty sure my max speed is higher on the 100, meaning by initiative I go for advantage. I know it's hard to see. Like, I gotta blow it up, blow it up. 920 for the F100, and MiG-17 should be less than that. 696. All right, so my 3 goes first. I will play a rapid roll. Move in 8 and take a shot. Make sure he's back as advantaged. All right, let's get our dice out of the... All right, so he is pilot skill 3, and it's 2 for his cannon. No traits. No heavy hitter like a MiG. Okay, one boom chit, and you get to shoot back. So a boom chit on the MiGs. Oh, sorry. Steve, boom chit on the MiG. Steve's lost in space. And your agility 2, so.
Shooting back with heavy hitters.
Oh, okay. Yep, and you can play one of your heavy hitters. Yep. Oh, critical coming back. Okay, take your defense and I'll take mine.
1, 2, 3, 2. This is my dodge.
Yep. This means I'm going to fail my dodge. This is guaranteed. Yep. So I'm down to neutral now. Boom chit each. That didn't work out so well. That's all right. Okay, so that was the 3. Advantage 3, MiG.
We have one more rapid roll.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, there you go. All right, Roger, you can think out loud.
No, I say it's interesting playing Missile Threat yesterday, where there was no provision for sort of head-on gun attacks.
Yeah, that surprised me, and I guess somehow I'd missed that in the rules, is that there was no head-to-head guns. So, yeah, the Missile Threat has a couple of quirky things like that, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's a very different game than Blood Red Skies, and there's just some interesting rule crossovers. Okay, and so you burned it.
I'm gonna be close. Make sure he's close.
Yeah. That's why I was just gonna break out the.
My intent is to have him be the closest. Yeah, he's close.
Yeah, he's closest. Okay, he goes to neutral. All right, so it should be your advantage 2.
Rapid roll.
I haven't read much evidence on just how effective head-to-head gunnery would have been with the gun sights of these types of aircraft at the approach speeds we're looking at
Well,
here.
so the
which
speed
is
doesn't
probably-
matter.
Yeah.
Speed really doesn't matter, and
Yeah.
that's the beauty of it, especially with something like an M61 cannon, is your rate of fire is so high that you have almost no track crossing rate. If you are not concerned about hitting the guy and want to break away at the last minute, the biggest things are: will you break away at the last minute, and if you hit him, will you do more damage to yourself with all the frag you're going to fly through? Obviously, in real-world training, it's not allowed by training rules within a certain range because you get target fixation. But the reality is, it's not as hard of a gunshot if you're willing to put a lot of rounds out there.
I messed up. I should have used my rapid roll over here.
Oh,
Ranges weren't as favorable as I thought.
yeah.
Let me stick it here.
Okay, so let's see. Then we've got neutral 3s. Your 3 and my 3, and I know these guys will activate first. You're kind of a jerk, and you're just inside 9 inches. Now, these guys are a Jet 3, though, but they still can't auto-activate at the beginning because they have an enemy within 9 inches. But they'll be able to climb up anytime. Exactly. How's it going, brother? Thanks. Oh, we're glad to be here. And that's Ed, whose interview you didn't see last night because we weren't streaming live. So we'll kick it out there.
It happens.
We're streaming live,
It
so we should put you on the headset and you'd say, "Tell us about Fall In."
No, we did that already. Been there.
All right, sounds good, brother. All right, so
I was trying to bully that one guy over there, and I messed up.
I think it's a bit difficult sometimes, isn't it, adjusting to the higher speeds and the movements in the game.
I can't catch those guys.
They'll be gone.
well, he can't. I mean, he can because he's a Jet 3, but he's got to make a decision here. And I guess I'm going to climb up so I'll be able to move first and get out of the way. No, because Leyden, the standard Leyden rule, he couldn't if we used the World War II Leyden rule. So I'll keep that. No, who cares? He's a Jet 3. He's Leyden. He's not going to be able to gain advantage. We'll
Yeah.
leave him there.
I mean, I sometimes wonder about the idea of, whether one of the jet effects of Leyden should be, a reduction of the
Of that
potential
bubble.
reduction of the jet trait. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Do you lose a generation of Jet trait? There's a lot of good questions because we've talked about like strafing ordnance in the Jet era should not make you laden. It's the slapping of just rocket packs and some basic, light ordnance doesn't make these aircraft laden. Putting big heavy bombs on does. But anyway, you're 3. You're neutral 3.
Can't climb.
Nope. But, I think, once again, if you keep the intent, I don't like the way the Leyden bubble works right now. But I understand why it's there, and I understand the intent to keep bombers down and keep them from activating before fighters. It's just, in a case like this, you don't want to force the guy to jettison his bombs until he's threatened. You don't want him to have to jet and fly out of here. You want him to be able to say, at least, do I have a chance to hold on to these for
I don't think there's anywhere I
a
can
turn
go
or
where I
two
can get out of
turns?
that bubble.
Probably not.
Very battle text, but not. It's kind of like a midpoint from battle text.
So he's trying to threaten my F-100s. All right. All right. Disadvantage. I guess I'm the only guy that's got a disadvantage, right? Let's see if I can get out of range. I don't think so. Nope, not going to make it out of range.
I know what you mean. And you're right, it does get a little. Yeah.
No, I can't. Sorry. Leave him there. And by range, he'll go ahead and just try to outmaneuver that guy. Even though he's a 4, maybe I get lucky.
2, right?
I'm stuck. Yep, you made it. All right. That should be the end of the turn. Oh, sorry. How did I forget to move the neutral 2?
Oh yeah, I could attempt it.
Oh, yeah, go ahead and attempt to outmaneuver. See if you can. Actually, that'll be an auto. I thought, I forgot about that. That guy would have autoed him.
I was
So,
like, I can't climb. I guess I'm done.
yeah, no, I should have caught that. But he can get out of the bubble. If you can just check it from this guy here to see where, pretty sure he can get out of the bubble. Oops. Let's go another 5 and turn. And you check that just to make sure I think that's out of the bubble. Yep. Okay, so he'll climb back up. All right. Pull the chits. Oh, geez. MiG's breaking through.
I think with the high movement speeds, it's always interesting to see how you get such quick separation.
It is, and I think that's one of the gotchas that people miss if they don't play MiG Alley a lot. And the first question is, my gosh, how do you play this on anything less than the living room floor? Well, you don't have to get a long way away. You got to get 9 inches away, but you've got to have slashing attacks. And if you plant the flag and everybody's in there, then nobody's gaining advantage if they're similar jet eras. And as you'll see, if these guys really want to get out, if the F-105s want to get out, they're going to jet their bombs and have to do a Jet 3 kind of fly, dive, climb, get out of the way.
I mean, from those F-105 pilots' perspective, they're escorts heading off to China at the moment.
yeah, exactly. All they see is that those guys have merged with the MiGs, and the MiGs are now coming straight for them. Okay, so starting with no advantage 5s, advantage 4 would be next. people were, I will say, complaining about the odds and the number of MiGs against the F4s, and I'm like, that's every battle in Vietnam. There's a ton of MiGs. I don't like playing balanced games.
I'm going for tailing, and I want to get rid of 3 as my intent.
Okay.
This is within 14.
Yep.
Mm.
Two, three, 4 plus 2 plus 1
Yep.
for heavy hitter.
1. All right. Yep. So he will roll 3, 2 for the aircraft, 1 for... Actually, check me on that. Is the F-105 a 2 or a 1? On his agility. Sorry. I should know the stats.
4.
F-105. My F-105D. Always forgot what his agility is, whether it's... Pretty sure I gave him 2, but I might have given him 1. Gave him 1, so he's got 3 dice. Pilot skill -1. And so this is the question. So do I lose a pilot skill while defending, or is it only for everything else? So, and always, people offering promotions. All right, so what we'll do is we'll make him pilot skill 2 for being laden. We will make him -1 for the crit. So that is 2 + 1 -1, 2 dice.
Oh dear.
And he's dead. 1 F-105 down. That was the 3. This would be exactly like the dogfight where the F-100s lost their ability to go north as fighters ever again.
We got to reset cards, too.
Yeah.
I think I used 1 heavy hitter.
All right. Any other advantage? Oh, your advantage 2. Don't forget him. Oh, yes, sorry. No, that's just. We're gonna remove. He's gonna.
I'm going to use a rapid roll. Use a rapid roll.
Sure.
Doesn't give me heavy hitter to be in range. I think. Oh, it doesn't get me in range. Look at that, just shy. Burn advantage to die, right? Let's do that. So I use my rapid roll, which is cool, gets me the angle. I can burn
Right, so
advantage
Brett's using a rapid roll to pivot, and now he's going to try to run down that disadvantaged.
I want. There. Now use a heavy hitter.
Use a second heavy hitter. All right.
2 plus 2 plus 1 for heavy hitter. Does that count?
No, because it's not in the dice tray.
Oh!
You see what I deal with? Okay. Doesn't count. For everyone who missed it, not 1, but 2 dice went out of the dice tray from Sloppy Brett.
It's over-eagerness.
Yeah, over eagerness. Do they count?
Bloodlust.
You're right, it landed on the floor, and it was a 6. Doesn't that count? No, Brett, that doesn't count. All right. So that was all the advantage. Now it should be neutral, my neutral 4.
I got a neutral 5.
Oh, sorry, neutral 5. You're right. Yeah, you're neutral 5.
Can we do this again? Can we get there with a rapid roll?
Yeah, you should be able to.
I'll pile on this guy.
Oh, yeah.
That's this, the return of
Except the
Colonel
problem
Toole.
is just getting close enough. He's going to have to... Yeah, it's going to be weird because...
He's good. Just goes 8 instead of.
Yeah, he won't get heavy. Oh, you already used your 2 heavy hitters anyway. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
I'm just counting on the pilot skill.
Yeah, no. Makes sense.
Just close enough. 3, 4, plus 2. Let's keep them in the tray this time, will you?
You used all your sixes early on. What's up with that? Okay, so then the 4. Can you check the range between the 2 and the 4? It's outside 9, okay. Right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, well outside 9, so. Hold on, let me just. Bloop. Bloop. Okay. Who do I punish first?
Yeah, I probably could have considered that in my move, huh?
Can you check the 3 to the 2 and make sure is the 3?
I think he's good. Yeah, he's just outside.
Okay, so he'll be able to pop out
Something
when
I
he.
could have considered more carefully.
Okay.
in my movement, right?
Yeah, so Brett's bringing up the point that he didn't really consider anything other than trying to kill the 3. He didn't think about let's try to hold these guys down, and so they're just outside 9 inches. Both those guys are going to climb. Actually, not necessarily. I forgot this guy. So the 3 that will hold the 3 down, but he's going to be outside for the 4 and the 2. So the 3 will be held down by that MiG, but if they had bumped the MiG in another inch, if they could have, then yeah. So okay.
Don asked why Brett's rolling like me.
Started out good, didn't last long.
Don, come on, don't make fun of these guys. Okay, please make fun of these guys. All right, so I'm going to set up for a missile shot here. Why? Because I can. All right, so where do I have to get to? 18 base to base, so I've got plenty of range to do what I want. Now, remember we talked about you can shoot up a level of advantage, or I could shoot, in this case, I would be neutral to neutral because I will have burned advantage to maneuver. It's going to cause me to lose 1 die. So instead of a firepower 0 missile, basically I'm shooting a firepower -1. That makes it a 3 die roll. Got to think about if that's better, or do I stay advantaged and now use my cannons on somebody who I can just rapid roll over to. So I'm going to take my headset off for a second because I got to walk to the other side.
That was the edge of your tape. Oh, okay, cool.
Get to there, I still don't get a cannon shot on the I have to burn advantage. If I'm going to do anything, I'm going to have to take a missile shot. Or rapid roll. And then burn advantage. But still going to get to a tailing. So, what I'm going to do. Burn advantage. I'm going to do a rapid roll to start. 14, so I'm not threatened. Within range on actually within range on either one. Okay, so it's a neutral to neutral shot. He is. It would normally be firepower 0, skill 4. It's -1 because I'm shooting neutral to neutral with an IR missile. And I miss.
Not
Standard.
unexpected.
Not unusual. All right. Okay, so neutral 3s by speed. Mine will be the next one. Yep, down 2 rapid rolls. All right, and I just did a rapid roll. Went over there, burned my auto out maneuver on his 2. Okay, so you're 2 neutral 3s. I think only one of them is inside He may be in. Oh, he's inside his bubble. Okay.
Keep doing thing.
And remember, the 3 couldn't come up a level because he was inside that MiG 17's hold down for any enemy aircraft. So an A1 Sky Raider can hold down a MiG 21. Roger's just giving me that look. The roll of his eyes. Roger, what do you think about that? Are we going to have to change the jet card somehow?
Yes.
I don't want to change the jet
I know
card.
you
Then it's
don't
not
want
Blood Red
to,
Skies
but-
anymore.
Well, adaptation. Maybe. I mean,
what are your thoughts on it? Let's throw that out.
it's. I mean, what are we really simulating with the jet generation difference, and or just the whole climbing for advantage? I don't know. I mean, I sort of think it's interesting how you could have a Jet 3 in there like the F-105, which might not actually even be part of the situation that's going on, but because of the ranges effect of it, it's actually, holding down other things. I mean, it can take its pilots are aware that this thing is there and can do things, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's some interesting tweaks, like perhaps when you are laden, you don't generate any jet effect.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I think possibly it hurts me to think about it, but possibly we want to change the wording that the climate activation is jet of equal or higher generation. And I understand that there was a desire to keep props and fighters, jets, playable against each other, but I don't think when we get to this era we want that. We want that as an exception rather than the rule.
No, I think if you want to bring in, World War II jet versus prop combat, it works well for that. I think it probably extends to Korea, where you did see much more usage of props, and any other conflict that might have taken place in the 50s, Arab-Israeli, etc.
Okay, so my 2 is going to climb for advantage. Let's see here. What do I want to do? Oh, there's so many fun things I can do. We go off the headset.
Had like a notepad and a piece of paper that I could write down all the shit that's like going through my brain that I want to do when I get it.
I gotta do it. It's a terrible tactical decision.
Okay, so people are going to say, why did you choose to jump into a gun attack even if you're a missile-armed guy? This is one of the interesting rubs Roger and I have seen. So the way we've tried to sculpt things is to give people a tactical choice. I could take a lower probability of hit missile shot, where if the guy doesn't dodge, he dies, he's done. Or take a lower probability of kill, higher probability of hit, lower probability of kill gunshot, because the guy will dodge, he'll lose advantage levels unless he's tailed. So in this one, I've only got pilot skill 2. So if I had done my burn advantage, come back, it would have been neutral on neutral. I would have been rolling 1 die. Here, at least I'm rolling 2 dice for my pilot skill and 2 dice for my cannon. So I have a decent chance to hit him, and if he fails to dodge, a decent chance to kill him. So you will see in the jet rules, people will fly through missile weapon engagement zones just to make sure somebody dies. And that, in a sense, is okay. We don't want people to always take gunshots, but there's times that gunshots are the right answer, which is what it was in this case. Okay.
But it also reflects the frustration of in the 1950s when all these aircraft designers and strategists decided to take your gun away.
Yeah. Thankfully, at least the F-100 is still there. But you see, I mean, if you think about it thematically, he heard his flight lead go Fox 2, and that missile just went stupid. So he's like, all right, I'm not going to make that mistake. Let's see. Okay. Brett takes a hit, takes a boom chit. Let me throw you another one. All right, and roll to defend, my good man.
3,
Yep.
2. Are we heavy hit or anything like that? Or do you think
What's that?
heavy hit or anything like that?
No. All right. You used all your sixes. You know, we forgot to use Rough Ride on one of your guys because I think he burned. Yeah. Oh, no, you don't. No, what am I thinking? What am I thinking? He doesn't have Rough Ride. I'm thinking he's a MiG-15. MiG-15s too. I was forgetting about that. All right. So we did that one. Now I've got to do his buddy. So here's an interesting dilemma. Either way, this dude is jettisoning his bombs because he's either in a really bad place or he's in a place to punish.
He's flying a fighter. He's
He
got
is.
a gun.
Yes.
There is an enemy in front of him. And he's got a very good gun.
Yes, he does. And he's within 3. So, yeah. True. Yeah, you won't get a shot at the start of it. True to form, the F-105 guys see the MiG fly out in front of him, jettisons his bomb, and hopefully, even though he's pilot skill 2, 3 for the M61 cannon. Okay, everyone can argue and yell at us for that. Yes, we gave the M61 firepower 3. And buzzsaw, so it will auto crit if I hit. The point is, the M61, when it connected with MiGs, they disintegrated. They did not survive those hits very well. Part of it was the ammo. Part of it was the number of rounds being thrown out. But we'll see how this goes. So 2 plus 3 and a buzzsaw. Okay, so an auto. Take another boom chit, and it's an auto crit.
Achieving victory here.
And now Brett's butt hurt that he's he's getting shot by a bomber.
Bomber lives matter.
Yeah, bomber lives matter. Here you go. You're critted, so 1 less to defend.
2, 3, 2, minus 1.
Oh, gone down.
And we've got a MiG down.
What skill level? Skill 3.
Yeah, so which card does he lose and which MiG went down? All right, so the F-105s for a moment evened the odds. But that's fine because they're going to boom out this turn anyway. So mission failure for the F-105s. But going home, one guy's going to get a kill mark. All right, who are the other chumps that haven't moved? My disadvantaged? Yeah, he's got a lot of options. Let me come over to the other side.
How you doing? How you doing?
Made your son Ting Long. If you get to do that over
No, he won't. He's gonna be boomed.
He hung low. They denied. They didn't get the full victory, but they denied a victory for the
Fearless.
No, you're still good. You're still in. You got 4 and 4. You're good.
Yeah.
He's still in the game.
Oh, okay.
You're not dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
4 and 4.
Yeah.
All right, last move there, and the F-104s are boomed out.
Yeah.
Put the F-104 over on the cam. Oh, no. I was going to put it on the cam here. Yeah. Hopefully people can see how beautiful Trevor's model is. Thank you, Trevor. Got those done for us here at Historicon. Put it back under there, he says.
Why is he taking them off?
All right. So they're boomed out. F-105's mission fail.
More or less, yeah. Yeah.
I thought I had to shoot him down.
But the
It's
good news
it's
is
going that way at Mach 1.5.
I've only got one boom chit. However, I've got a bunch of fighters
You
that
have. You
are all
have.
over the place.
The Yankee Air Pirates are.
Yeah, you sent the Yankee Air Pirate bombers home, so you get points for that. Now we got to figure out how this goes. All right.
And clearly those jettison bombs hit a school.
Yeah, exactly. They landed at a baby milk factory or a nunnery or wherever. All right. Neutral, or do we have no advantage? So neutral 5.
Cannot climb.
He's probably going to make me pay for that. Yeah, Don says laden for jets. Lose no jet effect. He kind of agrees. I think that's wise. And once again, I don't want to change a lot of the rules, but to me, an F-105 with thousand pounds of bombs should not hold down a MiG that is trying to rendezvous on him. If he's going to fight, he's going to have to jet. And then, yeah, he's full up jet 3 and sucks to be you, buddy, because you poked the bear.
I think I can get it. See this line?
Yeah.
I think I can get it.
I mean, we should be playing with the jet characteristic.
How many
because
inches?
It is
14?
the prime thing we changed for
Hold
MiG
on,
Alley.
hold on. Do it with tape.
12 inches.
Tape. Oh, did you?
Just enough to get the heavy hitter. That's all I was trying to do.
Yeah. Because he was a beam, that guy, right? He wasn't back
He's
here.
right here. With this.
Oh, where that marker was? Yeah, so it's a 13-inch move to there.
Unless our viewers who were watching online before I moved it.
And you didn't have to heavy hit, so you can point right at him. Yeah, so point to tail him. Because you're not tailing him yet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's my
Yep.
See it better
There you
if
go.
can?
Yep.
All right, so we use a heavy hitter card.
Yep. Oh, but already.
All those. 5, 2 plus 1.
Got enough dice, Brett? Think you can make a hit?
Gonna keep it in the jar.
All right. Hey, another boom chit. All right, and he crits me. So that's my 3. Okay. So he's going to be 3, 2, take 1 away. 4 dice. And he saves. Nice work.
I'll take the boom shit, though.
Yeah, I got second boom chit.
Happy about that.
Nice
Yay,
jinking.
boom chits, yay. Okay, so let's see. 4 right there with a deflection shot on a MiG right in front of him. This is going to be cheesy. I'm going to do it. I love you, Brett. It's been fun. And I'm going to miss by saying that. Yep. By gloating before I rolled the dice. All right. So I missed my chance to boom them out with that one. All right. So he can't climb up. He's in close. Let's see. Oh, wait. Maybe I've got a... No, there's no way I can get in there.
Demo last year was in his AI game on Friday. Like, it's so no idea he even played that, right? It's like,
Nope. I'll be right outside. What am I thinking? Why am I forgetting what I have? So we're going to rapid roll. I don't have to go that far. We're going to rapid roll, and we're going to go 7.
I think I see a missile shot.
I think I do. All right. And so, yep, within 18.
Gonna try to get over there.
Okay, it's going to
Yeah.
be skill 4, firepower 0, and he's at a lower advantage level, so there's no negative modifier.
Come on.
Fox 2. And I have a sloppy die like Brett. Okay, and I still missed anyway. I suck. Let's recover all the Brett and Doug dice on the bottom of the floor here. All right.
Major's gonna come help.
So sure enough, AIM 9's worked as advertised. Now, we've said this a couple times, Roger. If you don't like how missiles miss all the time,
Yep.
bump up the firepower.
Yeah.
Make them like the gun. Make them firepower too. If you want planes to blow up, we, Roger and I, said we'd like missiles like AIM-9 Bravos to be really frustrating. And
Yeah.
and to me that was a classic example. I've got this guy dead to rights. He's in a dogfight with my buddy over there. In a sense, the MiG turns out away from my boy. I pull the trigger and it lands in a rice paddy somewhere.
No,
So-
I think it works. I mean, if you were really wanting to go into the simulation road, you'd have to play 10, 15 of these games to see one sidewinder hit.
Yeah, yeah. So I think Firepower Zero, odds-wise, works. You have a decent chance of it working every once in a while. But like today, you're just going to get frustrated. All right, your advantage 4. Colonel, whatever his name is, I won't say it. I won't make those jokes.
I think for anybody who's sort of worried about the idea of unlimited missile shots, both the shots where Doug's aircraft missed, you can actually more or less extrapolate that there may have been a tone there, and he attempted to fire, but it didn't come off the rail, or for whatever other reason. It doesn't necessarily mean the missile was actually expended. It was just an opportunity to use it came up, and that fleeting opportunity then disappeared.
Right. And I'll even say that there's so many opportunities where they did pull the trigger and there was, warm jungle or water glint below or any one of those things that could decoy an old AIM-9. And it looked like a track, looked like it was going to be a good shot, and just didn't connect. Because one of the interesting things was there were times that as the MiGs would turn and the missile would stop tracking purely on the aft end of the aircraft, it's now tracking the plume. And so it would pass and it would fuse well behind the MiG. And it would look even like a good hit. They'd see an explosion, see the MiG fly out of it, and then the MiG kept flying. No damage.
So I climbed, burned advantage to maneuver.
But if that MiG was evading and heading towards the ground, possible claim.
Yeah, exactly. And it's even one of those where, his buddy pulled the trigger, they did all this stuff, and
It's 14.
you got to auto outmaneuver that guy? Okay.
The frustration must have been enormous for those guys who were, say, like flying the Phantoms without the guns, and they worked and worked and worked to get themselves into a position to get a missile shot. Then just to know that the thing's not going to work or it's going to fall off.
All right.
Or something.
Careful about the range for everybody else.
Yeah, so everybody make it up.
Yeah, exactly. So at least both these guys are Jet 2s, so everybody's holding everybody down, but you got to just kind of be careful about putting yourself in a bad situation. So the next neutral would be neutral 3 on my guy.
It was so freaking awesome. What do you guys have about?
Oh, everybody's already like. I think that there's a few people that might have tried to swing by here to go with long share.
Cool, man. We took care of everything. We packed it all up nice for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We had so much fun playing last night.
That was awesome for me. Thanks.
Thank you so much, dude.
Yeah, and I think you offered like whiskey glass things.
I got it. I'll bring it to the clubhouse.
Sweet. Yeah.
I'm gonna bring you. I got a nice set of 4 of them.
Sweet. That's awesome. Yeah.
You got it.
Well,
man.
I'm glad I could
No,
come
it
in
was.
clutch.
Oh, dude, it was awesome. Yeah, I have a nice set of 4 of them.
All right.
Awesome. Take it easy.
Yeah. You guys have a good one.
Yeah, and it was just our guys that had loaned us the terrain for Achtung Panzer last night. Thanks, really appreciate that. That went well. So if you saw what I did, I'm kind of now off the camera a little bit. That F-100 went out, burned advantage, climbed back up because he's outside 9 inches. Obviously trying to set him up for another follow-on opportunity. All right, disadvantaged 3. I believe that guy is the...
You're faster than me.
Yep, that's in that. Okay. So I'm going to play a rapid roll. What I'd like to see. Let's see here.
set for a rest. If you can't do it, then don't do it. That's how simple it is.
Okay. I think he's automatically, yeah, so he would be a 5. I'm still going to try to outmaneuver him. He becomes a 5. Seven dice. Can we pull a Steve? Nope. All right. Got it. All right, then your disadvantage 3.
Use a rapid roll.
So the reason I went that way, I realized my 6 o'clock is still pointing at the ace, but I wanted to hold down this MiG as much as I could. Now, obviously, he's going to be able to turn and try to rapid roll his way out, but by moving a couple inches in front of him, I might get to a point where I can hold him down. He might just escape out of that real quick. Here's the tape.
Just trying to make that angle so it's not so.
He might just, if you go post to post, go back to the post. So he will basically sit right there, and I think you'll be right outside. Nope, you'll be just slightly inside of it by base. Let me grab somebody's base that's dead. Oh, you will just be... No, I'm saying you're even the direction that you're at, right there. You'll be just outside. So, climb. There you go. And remember, we did say disadvantaged people cannot shoot missiles. So we're trying to keep that core rule, that concept that if you're disadvantaged, you're just trying to stay alive. You're not not doing anything else. All right, so tagged that one. Sorry, he needs a chit. He moved. Disadvantage 2 for mine. All right, here's where that crossover gets to be interesting. Where, oh where? Where can I go? All right. Can I have the tape? Rapid roll. Yep, okay. So he's going to climb up. Flying at the dice tray. Disadvantage 2 for you. Yep.
I've been like messing around with just like basically anywhere in front of that guy.
Oh, sorry, tape? Yeah, there you go. Trying to find the crossover of the 9-inch bubbles. How do I get out of the way?
Can't get out.
Yeah, I'm not sure he can. It's going to be right at the edge of that.
Even if I go out here with a rapid roll.
I think that's the only way you can go. I think you might. Oh, no, you're still. Oh, yeah, you'll make it. You'll make it.
I think that's gonna do a rapid roll, please.
Yeah, just barely.
Not
Cool.
ideal, but
You're like me. You're flying right at the board edge. You have to burn advantage to not go off the board. Or we could try the Steve Toth rule and see if we end up. All right, I think that's everybody, right? 4 boom chits, 4 MiGs. So close. And 2 boom chits, 4 sabers. Super sabers. All right. Neutral 5. You know what you want to do. You really want to. Fly right in front of me, please. Please. So now, Roger, one of the discussions we had is I think, agreed the first shot opportunity, start of the turn, is still guns only.
Yeah.
It's still some guy flying right in there. Doesn't take very long. You're pulling the trigger. We're not shooting air-to-air missiles in that first shot opportunity. I know there's been some argument. Roz beat me up a little bit about that the other day. We just want to make a little bit of a trade-off. We once again want to give an advantage to using your gun. There's a reason to use the gun, but it.
I think if we ever move to an era, a more modern era with more dogfighty type missiles, better technology and things, then maybe there's leeway for that there. But here, where the majority of fighters are cannon armed as well, and pilots were trained for that sort of combat, then yeah.
Right, and we said, kind of there's a follow-on that if you want to do cool systems in the future, maybe helmet-mounted sights, those guys have an opportunity to fire in that first fire phase. That they're the only guys that get to shoot missiles in a snapshot environment because their aircraft is configured to do that.
But it's the same with up in the
okay, crit
it's
and
the same with up in the hit chance of the missile,
right.
The firepower rating. You're entirely free to play the game where you can use missiles in the shoot phase and just see what happens.
And here's an interesting point. So you look at how this is laid out, and I'll step ahead. Or let me roll my defense here. Sorry, 2, 2 -1 for the crit. Oh, there's one die still in there. Sorry, I missed that. Ooh, and an F-104 or F-100 finally goes down. All right. It'll be the final. Nope, this is going to be 4-3, so final turn for the F-100s. I'll just steal one of the boom chits off the dead 105. One of the considerations here, and we'll talk about it, is if you allow missile fire in the first phase, you do get kind of a thematic engagement here that my guy takes that shot, then closes into gun range and shoots guns. I don't know. I don't necessarily like that, but either way, it's a trade-off. I think we talked a little bit at lunch about when it comes to game design. You can either model things, you can simulate them. You don't always want to make it a perfect simulation because you want people to have agency and to have to decide.
Yeah.
And in this case, I am deciding to get right into his chili.
This is a game.
Exactly. And to keep from getting tailed by our favorite little friend, let's see here. Where do I have to go to tail him? Okay, so I'm outside 9, so I auto climb because I'm probably going to have to burn advantage to make this happen. Can you, yeah, because he was outside of it. I just need to figure out where this guy's wingman effect is so I know where I have to go. All right, I'm going to rapid roll to turn 45, less than 45. I'm going to burn advantage. I may end up in a missile arc anyway. The math may not work. Let's see, where is 14 going to be? I think either way, I'm not going to be able to get outside because I'm going to have to go 14 out to there. I think that will be... Nope, they'll still be inside 6. So I will have burned advantage, go out to 14. Okay, you can pull the tape out of the way. And then I'll pivot that way. All right, still within gun. So it'll be 4, 2, make the colonel pay. Oh, nothing. A whole lot of nothing. All right, cool. Marker. Now you're 4. Thankfully, you can't tail me based on where you are.
Shot that have no missiles.
Yeah, Don, that was frustrating. finding the perfect spot to get in that move, and being defeated by my dice. That's all right. It's a game. That's what happens. Don't wank about the dice going cold. You know, Roger, we were talking about activation systems that preempt yesterday at lunch. And I've always thought one of the interesting things, not that you should do it in Blood Red Skies, but it's always one of those interesting things to say is if there was a way that when you flew one of your guys to a position that you thought was safe for the other guy to be able to act out of order. Like, so as soon as Brett finishes this move, by advantage, actually my neutral 3 does get to go next. But let's say, what if he was a 2?
Yeah.
I would love a way that I could just go, you know what? That's going to be my next activation. I'm gonna pick that guy because he's got this fleeting opportunity that if I wait, eventually some dude's going to ruin it for me. But that's not Blood Red Skies.
Yeah, it could. I mean, but it could be a card. It could be an ace trait.
That's
could
true.
be-
Yeah, you could always put or it could be a doctrine where
Yeah.
like Fluid 4, where basically the flight lead sees this happening and he tells that guy to activate out of order. Say, hey, 4, engage the MiG behind me or whatever.
I mean, this is total heresy, but I just sometimes wonder in the future whether you could almost have an additional card mechanic in it, almost like a random event cards that you've got that you can play.
Yeah.
That just
Yeah. All right, so I think it's pretty obvious where I'm going.
Good tail this guy. I just could. There wasn't much I could do. I was trying to get out.
Well, and the advantage is I don't have to tail him. I'd like to, because I'd like to shoot him down. But let's see where 14 goes. Show me where.
What about missile shot?
Oh yeah, missile shot would absolutely be viable there. It's going to be 3 dice. It's that whole
It's a
question of
what's the better
yeah, and here's another opportunity where, and I think I'm actually out of missile range, just barely. But it's a question of on activation, do you get to
Oh yeah.
do you get to shoot a missile shot? No, and maybe we'll revisit that. We've had 2 opportunities here where it was pretty thematic that the aircraft would activate, take a missile shot, close to gun range. So we may revisit our dislike of of the. All right, so I basically just need to kick it right to there. Yep. Yep, if you can move that one right there. Yep, and I'm still in arc, so I'll shoot, but I won't tail. So I have a chance for at least a boom chit here.
That's the best I could do.
Did I wait? Did I rapid roll him? No, so I didn't. So I will tail then. Sorry. Okay. Then Trevor or Don will catch me if I screwed that up. If I did not use a rapid roll on activation. So 3, 2, 5 dice. Don, if my dice fail me, you're buying me a new set of dice at NashCon or wherever I see you next. Of course, I'm using Steve's starter set dice that are set for the table. That's the problem. I should be rolling Air Force dice. If I was rolling my USAF dice, they wouldn't have deserted me. All right, we connected. Got a hit.
All right, so I'm boomed out.
So we're both boomed out. So throw a 5th boom chit and defend, please. Oh, I got it for you. Take an F-105 boom chit. And defend. And it was just a regular hit, no critical. Ah, he defends. I don't bag a MiG today. Probably log it as a probable. The Air Force thought they got it. All right. Neutral 3.
He's outside of 9, right?
I think he is. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure he's outside of 9.
That's my
Yep.
plan. All right, so climb him. Let's burn advantage. Do a 180 and face shot that guy.
Really? Really?
Get him close too, so I
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
Heavy
I'll
hitter.
just.
So we're burn a heavy hitter.
You know you want to. All right, boom chit and auto crit for heavy hitter. So now it's 5 boom chits to 5 boom chits, and I better not die. So I'm going to roll my defense first. He is 3, 2, -1, 4 dice. Come on, starter set dice. Yes, I don't die. 3, 2, shooting back. Let's knock this guy at a disadvantage. Not that I have anyone that can capitalize on it. Nope. I was scared. I didn't hit him. All right. Disadvantaged dudes. Because the advantage 4, advantage 3, disadvantage 3 and 2. Nothing I can do other than bloop, bloop.
Same. I'm flying off the table.
Yep. Yep. End of turn. 5 to 5. Mission fail for the U.S. Air Force. Bombers didn't make it to the target, but they did in the process. Influenced the MiG-17s, and then we bagged 1 MiG-17 and 1 F-104. So that was a good game. Thoughts, Roger?
I thought it worked well. I didn't see anything that was standing out as an issue.
I forgot a couple of times in my movement. It took me a couple of, maybe it wasn't until the very last turn where I started being more cognizant of my ending thing.
Oh, yeah. So
there was a couple times where I was so focused on what I was trying to do.
grab the headset from Roger real quick.
It took me a turn or two to remember to be thoughtful about where I ended my movement to maintain the hold down. There was a couple of times where I moved to set myself up for, shooting at somebody or whatever, but I could have moved it in just an extra inch,
right,
and still accomplished that solution and maintained a hold down. So that was a new thing for me for jets that just had to learn to think about. So,
yeah, no, I think trying to remember where the pie plate is, where that 9-inch hold down flies with you is really important. And there's times you want it to be on those guys, and there's times you want to stay outside of it, as you saw, because I need to climb back up, the next turn and not get close to them. But I think we will solve that with a mod to the jet card. I hate to do that, but to say that it's a jet of same or equal generation. So really, to summarize, same or equal generation for the jet card all the time. Say laden aircraft don't get their jet trait, so there's no holding down by a laden F-105 just because he's a jet 3. And I think we've already taken the missile minimum range to 3, which is good, but there's a discussion about missile first shot opportunity, and I'm starting to change my thought on that and say missile at first shot opportunity, super thematic.
yeah, I like it.
That
It
you're
seems
shooting
cool to
it
me.
and then you're rolling into gun range.
Well, and it's familiar to what we already do normally in Blood Red Skies with gunshots.
And just for the heck of it, just because it would be kind of funny to see
Over here?
if he had shot. No. If he'd shot at the other guy, because he was advantaged, he popped up to advantage turn. There's no negative modifier on that shot that he would have taken. Yeah, he would have missed. But it makes thematic. He shot, missile missed.
Could have killed a
close,
guy, affected the whole boom.
Yeah,
calculus.
and that would have affected because you would have put 2 more on there.
You mentioned templates. I wasn't able to look over Steve's shoulder, but on the stream, I wonder, do you have a pipe plate for the hold down? That would be maybe easier for our people who are watching to see the calculus. Like I can't see. I'm trying to do that in my head, but then the guys watching at home could be like, "Yeah, Brett's fucking up right now because
Brett's put him in the wrong
if he
spot.
just moved 1 more inch, right?"
Yeah. Well, and that's the good thing when we do the talking heads and when we're sitting over there in the booth. Obviously, this is a 4-person show here. It's sometimes easier if we have someone over there watching, putting the pie plates down, going, Brett doesn't know what he's doing. What a goofball. And it goes from there. All right, what's Don saying? He said, might be a mission fail for the U.S., but there'd be a lot of beer drinking celebration in Korat today. Good shoot charge choppers on the way. Throw 1 die, and you can shoot missile on any result except a 6. Oh, and that's an option. Make it either a simple one die check or make it a pilot check. And so your more experienced guys are going to see it. So you just roll your, in that case, he's a pilot skill 3. Okay, he would have got a success. He's enabled. I know that goes counter to everything we took as guidance from Andy. And we said we don't want to always have to roll to do things.
Yeah.
But I think if we want to balance some of this, that maybe there are pilot skill checks to do things.
Is the concern is this that first shot is so powerful because of the range and the auto
My
kill?
concern is first shot is so powerful just because people are used to blundering into a bad spot. Well, maybe now with missiles, the point is you've got to really be cognizant of where your 6 o'clock is, and if you plant the flag within 18 inches of a missile-armed fighter,
I did that a couple of times.
Yeah.
It was my best solution, but the whole time I'm like, eh.
Yeah, and so if that fighter can now shoot in that first phase, and maybe like head-on shot, now you're neutral, he's still advantaged. You've sold all your energy to dogfight somebody, and now that missile-armed guy can shoot. But it also makes auto outmaneuvers that much more powerful in a sense, because it allows your 4 to possibly auto outmaneuver somebody that's tail on to a fighter at 18 inches. And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's thematic to me as well.
It's like
they're in a
super
dogfight.
BF-109s.
This guy's got, is now spit out of the fight. He's low energy, and your wingman, 18 inches out, takes a missile shot on him. And once again, missiles aren't wonder weapons. They never connected in this game. So much like the last dogfight of the F-100 versus the MiG-17, missile shot, no missiles hit. So when you play, if you want to bump it up firepower too, absolutely, that's fine.
Also wondering, does the fact
with jets that we're constantly looking at the pie plates.
Mean the pie plates should go away?
Well, I just wonder if it's one pie plate too many now.
Yeah.
If there is another mechanic. I mean, it's, we know in Blood Red Skies there's sometimes it works, but there's sort of weird trying to work out how a plane outmaneuvers another when it's facing in a different direction, it's in a different advantage level, and it's somewhere across the table or whatever. I don't know. I just sometimes think, because watching Brett having to sort of like, and you both of you sort of working out and putting lots of templates on the table to try and find, what is and what isn't out.
Right.
Whether that's just adding a little bit more sort of finickiness.
Oh, it absolutely does. I think, though, that's such a core concept of Jet Blood Red Skies that keeps people from coming in and just planting the flag.
Yeah.
Because in World War II games, you really get this very super tight furball because nobody holds anyone else down other than great climb airplanes. So on an average day against another player, unless he has great climb, you can get in there close and you can expend your advantage and do something with it. I think if you got rid of the pie plate, we have to consider, what about the auto activation advantage? Do we take that away? Now, maybe you don't, because maybe then people keep coming up. But I think we'd have to play through and see what that does. Does that make the game easier, harder, etc.?
But I mean,
there
from
goes John
from
Russell
both
with
of
a
you
banner.
guys who played it, on your
Hello,
opinion,
John. Go away, John. They can't see you on the feed.
Yeah. I mean, did you find it onerous? Did you find it adding to the complexity?
I don't find it onerous. What I find that it does is it forces me to be much more judicious about getting into a dogfight, in a close-in dogfight. And if I come into that dogfight, I want to come in with an advantage. I think early on I burned a lot of advantage to get into close range, but then I wasn't able to gain a whole lot of it back. So I kind of violated my first rule of jet dogfighting, which is don't burn advantage until you absolutely have to, because we're both Jet 2s. Is it onerous? Maybe. I I think understanding what the 9-inch bubbles are just forces you to sometimes have to put multiple templates on the board, but to seriously think about your maneuvering. It goes to our discussion yesterday. We want a game, if we had the perfect air-to-air game, that's about maneuvering. That's about the pilot's decision to put the airplane in a specific piece of sky. And that's always what's appealed to me about Blood Red Skies, because there's a reason why you're in various pieces of sky and not just directly behind the guy. You're making tactical choices.
I think as long as it's not a putter off for
Yeah,
people
yeah.
to say, I'm constantly having to think about this, I'm constantly having to put templates down, then I think that's okay. But I think it's still worth a thought about. I mean, and you don't want to dismantle the entire jet process, but I think we
Well,
Jet
yeah,
was Jet was there to start off with for ME's 262s. Then we knew we were going to have to do jets for MiG allies. So
Right.
how do we make them different? What do we do to represent that next generation of aircraft? It works. It very much works at the moment, but I still think there's opportunity to think things through if there's a slightly more elegant way of doing it. And that's the thing about this. This is a very much a work in process. It is, every time this is being played is a play test, and it's tying things down that we know work, and then maybe potentially looking at those things that work, but maybe we could get them to work better.
This
I was never afraid
this
of the
game,
missile
this
shot.
play,
It obviously it didn't. They weren't overwhelmingly powerful, right? We never had a missile work. Of course,
The-
it would
the-
remove its model right off if he connects, but it's still a dice game.
Yeah. I mean, they're an interesting concept, and you have to keep them in mind, but they really are not in this game the magic bullet.
Right. That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Did you solve all the world's problems?
No. It's interesting. Brett was discussing how he was handling jets and taking into account some of the differences was actually
Right.
making him think about the standard BRS game with great dive, great climb type.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, we want it to feel and smell like Blood Red Skies, but tactically it's got to be different somehow. You've got to have different decisions to make, and I think that's kind of the burden on us, is to figure out how do you do that without making it too onerous. Because you want people to say, okay, I know how to play Blood Red Skies. We'll know how to play the Vietnam era, but I want it to feel like Vietnam. I don't want it to feel like a World War II dogfight. And I think, at least today, while we may have debated some of the ranges or rules and interactions, we got that feel that there were some really tight gunfights and there were some opportunity missile shots
Definitely.
from
Definitely.
outside the dogfight. I don't think we got to any really close missile shots, and I think a lot of that is just because of it being firepower 0.
Yeah.
Because I could have rolled around, and instead of, shooting 5 dice at him, I could have taken a 3 dice shot that would have killed him, but he was already disadvantaged. You get in that calculus, which frustrates me sometimes, because I want to use missiles in this game, but just the way we have them right now, that probability of kill is so low that if somebody's disadvantaged, it makes it worth to get in there and shoot the gun. I mean, obviously, was that last shot, if it had been an F4, his only option would have been to turn in there and shoot another missile. But
I mean, I guess it's, how much did, say, for instance, Brett's tactics change? I mean, how aware were you of the missiles?
here you go.
The missiles never caused me to change what I was doing. There were a couple times where it felt to me the best play
put me in a vulnerable spot, but I didn't avoid going there because of the missiles. You know, I didn't feel like, oh, I better not. I mean, I was aware that I was like, okay, this is probably a pretty vulnerable place to be, but I needed to be there to play my game, and I just played my game. So yeah, it wasn't denying me anything. And I guess, you know, the odds, it seems appropriate. Missiles are powerful, but the odds of hitting are lower compared to the gunshot, right? So we saw that in this game where there was that decision like, man, I really need the booms. Do I go for the lower odds on the missile, or do I get close and use the guns and maybe get some more booms put out there? So that seemed appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm getting the wrap it up sign from Doug. We are going to close out this stream and move on to maybe some other games or some other things. So stay tuned. We may be making some other things happening over here, but hope you guys are all having a great weekend. Hope you got to tune in and see some of our shenanigans over here. I hope you enjoyed this stream and this game.